It all happened like I knew it would. A single drop of source magic. And, like flies to honey, the monsters swarmed. The rebel panicked. The carnage began. And the Magisters pointed their fingers at me. Just as I'd planned. I was shackled and collared, and sent to Fort Joy. I'd come here to kill Godwoken. But instead, I became part of their story.
Still a bit groggy, are we? Don't worry. The sedative will wear off soon enough. Easy now. No need to hurry. Get your bearings and report to me upstairs.
What a way to wake. Wooden boards and iron shackles. The Divine Order's hospitality leaves much to be desired indeed. This again? Rubbish. Rubbish. Ah, well, that explains the smell.
Shaking her fluffy coat, the sheep eyes you balefully, her rectangular eyes like letterboxes to the void. With one sharp hoof, she kicks you right in the shin. Did you expect a needle?
your maker.
Did you expect a needle? Did you expect a needle?
This again?
Empty. Empty. Empty.
What a mess I've made. Someone will be along to clean up, I'm sure.
Hey, get me out of this cage and I'll make it worth your while. You in? Your guess is as good as mine. Someone screamed loud as a banshee. After that, pure pandemonium. They never even told me what I was accused of. Just dragged me down here. Set me free, and I'll set you free. A fair trade, I should think.
I'm not one to let sleeping dogs lie.
Go ahead and ignore me. But you should know it's not just my freedom at stake. A gentleman among jesters, you are. Give that.
The prisoner's buoyant voice darkens as his eyes rest on yours.
Ah, freedom. Tastes better than wine. I'm nothing if not a man of my word. And I did give my word I'd set you free, lad. Say your prayers while you've... Come here.
And I'm back where I started. I know where to go but up.
Where did I leave my calipers?
Empty.
Why, you're looking a bit more chipper. Yes. Looks like that collar fits you snugly enough. Nice bit of work, even if I do say so myself. There you are. Not too tight, I hope. The collar, I mean. Oh, not to worry. Every dog has to get used to its leash. In the meantime, your next stop will be Magister William. All passengers have to be registered in the ship's manifest, and he's the chap in charge of the logs. You'll find him on the other side of this deck, in the officers' quarters. Why, for my peace of mind, of course. Why don't you try casting one of those source spells of yours? See what happens.
Currents of magic surge inside you, boiling, bursting, then breaking, only to fade back into your soul like rain into the earth.
My, look at the concentration on your face. All will, but no result. There you have it. See? The collar's function. It neuters you of sorts. Makes you unable to cast source. For your own peace of mind, of course. Yours and the whole world's.
No marks, no indications of a struggle.
She frowns and peers at you closely, resting the back of one hand on your forehead and taking your
Delusions such as these are rare, but not unheard of. I recommend a cup of mulled wine and another night's sleep. Just take it easy. Oh dear, I'm afraid you're a long way from home, milord. A long way from the little bells that make footmen come a-running.
Index fingers pressed to her lips. She pauses a moment to give you a scrutinizing gander.
My word, you do seem a bit befuddled, don't you? Perhaps I was a bit too generous with that sedative. Oh, well, I'm sure you'll soon gather your wits. Most likely. Eventually. In the meantime, all you need to know is that we're en route to Fort Joy. A new life awaits, and if you're a particularly good boy, perhaps a cure as well. An end to Source. For good.
Good gods! There's been a murder here!
Sight, isn't it? Burns me up this happened under our protection. We're extremely lucky no Voidwalker followed the source that did this.
She looks up at you with a mirthless smile.
I was on duty in your room when the murder happened. You were asleep the whole time. You're one of the only indisputably innocent people on the ship. Unless you can commit murder in your sleep, of course. Figured as much. Listen, I could use someone to keep their ears open among the passengers. So bring me a good lead, and I'll throw in a shiny gold coin for you. How about that? Not in here, it isn't. You let me know if you hear anything. Did the murderer take him into this room? Or was he already here?
A young magister stands pale and silent. Her knuckles whiten around her weapon as you pass. Behind the magister, a bloodied mass lies in a heap. Gore and limbs lie at odd angles. You can't make out a face amid the mess.
No marks, no indications of a struggle.
There's been a murder. A sorcerer was killed by one of your own. Lucky you were busy getting your collar fitted at the time, or you'd be Waters is investigating. She'll figure out who did it. Always does. If you have nothing to hide, I'm sure it'll go just fine. Bloody lizard.
The murderer take him into this room. Was he already here?
Why won't you sing? That's enough now.
It was one of them. I know it.
I'm trying to concentrate.
They don't care about us. We're like cattle to them. One of us will kill our own. They're picking us off one by one.
Can we just skip to the part where I reassure you and you
An
shut
elf
up?
sits tucked away in a dark spot, lazily rolling dice onto the surface of a barrel. They sound like the dry cackling of an old witch.
Snake eyes.
What are you trying to hear anyway?
She chuckles.
I'll tell you if
I bet that's just what they'll look like. Rolling dice. Deciding fates.
She eyes you quite seriously.
Not the future, no. But I can read the past in flesh. One of the perks of being an elf, you see. I'm quite good at it, too. I could lick your arm and tell you how you spent the night before last. Shall I?
She gives your arm a vigorous stroke of the tongue, efficient, like
You were in a cellar with other sorcerers. As everyone lay sleeping, your hunger gnawed and gnawed at you, and finding the cellar door ajar, instead of trying to escape, you snuck into the pantry like a common thief. There you stood as a magister walked in, still hungry, feeling a mighty fool.
insufferable, surely.
What are you trying to hear anyway?
she pats you on the shoulder, consoling.
There, no need to be a sourpuss. You don't have to worry, darling. I don't lick and tell. Don't worry, honey. It isn't your...
She looks you up and down with the merest hint of a coy smile.
Never say never, though.
It was one of them. I know it.
Would you put a knuckle in it? I'm trying to concentrate.
They don't care about us. We're like cattle to them.
I'll give you that knuckle if you keep carrying on.
One of us will kill our own, and they're picking us off one by one.
Can we just skip to the part where I reassure you and you shut up?
You think me mad?
A broad dwarf sits totally upright on the bench, eyes closed, palms face up on his knees. His beard is a cascade of meticulous plaits, each one braided through with golden medallion. He raises an eyebrow as you approach, but doesn't open his eye.
Listen up, boy. You hear that?
Ask what you must. I've nothing to hide.
The ship, of course.
A wave of sound washes over you. The unintelligible chatter of your shipmates, the groaning of wood.
And?
Till overboiling a bit of cabbage becomes a crime, I shall hold my head steady.
Then you're not listening hard enough, mate. Go on.
You've got ears on your head, haven't you? Do you need me to show you how to use them? There now, just like that.
Squeak!
Aha!
His eyes snap open as his countenance breaks into an expression of joy. One great paw claps you on the back. The other catches you before you lose your footing.
Never thought you'd end up in prison,
That right. I always knew you'd turn up front and bend.
There. You heard it, didn't you? I knew it. I knew it. Aye, this is good news, boy. Good news.
You've got this wolf on a leash.
No, you beautiful idiot. That wasn't any rat. It was the wheel. Squeaks whenever the hell... Pardon my beard. That means... if we've been travelling for... yes, only 10.34 nautical miles to Fort Joy. Captain, actually. And that figure tells me we're getting close to the Joy. Close to what lies beyond it, too.
The dwarf leans back from the table and strokes his beard, gold medallions jingling merrily. His eyes...
That'll be all. Thank you kindly, boy.
Well, you've got this wolf on a leash now.
As soon as the Inquisitor gets here, we'll hang you right.
He continues stroking his beard, a beatific smile on his lips, and doesn't...
Come on, please, Losa.
I forgot how to sing. I did. No.
You sure about that?
No.
What's your name?
No.
Gods, didn't your mother teach you any manners?
She got eaten by a void one.
Name? Well, you aren't here on my list. Scram, eh? We're trying to catch a... Did you put a...
Oh, really red?
They don't care
Do you know Losa? She's a... Wow.
Ah, there you are. Would you please tell this very charming gaggle of not-at-all brat-like babes that I am by no accounts this Losa woman, nor do I sing, in fact. I'm deathly allergical. How very correct you are, spouse of mine. Madam, what? What's so...
Her pinched face cracks into a great grin, and she shoos the children away from her with...
Yeah, okay, you found me out. Go on and get and make...
She turns to you, dark-eyed and dirty-haired, and smiles flat.
Gotta keep ourselves entertained, haven't we? You presume right. Nope, trying not to find anything out either. Ignorance is bliss. The utterer, the better. Thanks, but I already belong to an elite and exclusive ship gang. We play ball every day. You take care, though.
Suddenly, her eyes cloud to an unnatural black. Greyish veins run down her face, and her mouth tightens into a cruel sneer.
It was one of them. I know it. You put a knuckle in it. I'm trying to concentrate.
As quickly as they came, the clouds clear. She smiles as though no change came over her.
Good luck, Chief.
One of them will kill our own. They're picking us off one by one.
Can we just skip to the part where I reassure you to shut up? Mad? Insufferable, surely.
What are you trying to hear anyway?
I'll tell you if you can keep it quiet long enough for me to listen.
Like I said, you are...
Why won't you sing?
Be good, you scallywag.
My prince.
The cook bows slightly and wipes her hands on her gruel-stained garb.
Never thought
Forgive me, Your Highness. I didn't expect... Well, anyway, whether I had more than cornmeal and rotting roots to serve, I'd concoct something more fitting for one of your stature.
Well, you've got this wolf on a leash now.
As soon as the Inquisitor gets here.
She nods and smiles wanly before...
It was one of them. I know it. Would you put a knuckle in it? I'm trying to concentrate.
They don't care about us. We're like cattle to them.
I'll give you that knuckle if you keep carrying on.
One of us wouldn't kill our own. They're picking us off one by one.
Can we just...
The Magisters are out for blood. You saw the body, didn't you?
Please, Losa.
Be good, you scallywags.
Never thought you'd end up a prison guard.
I'm busy watching for clues, sorcerer. Go take your sub-story some...
A scruffy man lounges against the wall with scarred arms folded. A sly smile.
Watch your back, new fish.
Rolling his eyes at the Magister's warning, the man named Ifan beckons again.
I'll give you that knuckle if you keep carrying on.
One of us wouldn't kill our own.
He leans in and adjusts your collar with a sharp tug, balancing its weight so it no longer presses on...
Pinches less that way, right?
Hocking a phlegmy gobbet in your general direction, the sullen Magister settles back to his task of glowering at Ifan. And now, you.
I'll tell you if you can keep it quiet long enough.
We used to know each other, more's the pity. I was his commander, many moons.
Standing far back from Ifan, the tight-faced Magister draws one finger across. Ifan grins, flashing pointed white teeth.
Same as he was at 14 years old. Only difference is somebody gave him a bigger sword and now he's Johnny Big Pants. No. The dead man. Finn, is it? I'd no business with him.
He glances over at Magister Victor.
Damn shame sheer annoyance isn't reason enough. Long story. Maybe I'll tell you about it in the Joy. Away from the Joy, I've heard a lot. Nothing good. Wonder if we'll get to meet the Ringmaster himself.
Would you put a knuckle in it? I'm trying to concentrate.
They don't care about us. We're like cattle to them.
I'll give you that knuckle if you keep carrying on.
One of us wouldn't kill our own. They're picking us off one by one.
Can we just skip to the part where I...
Easy now. I might think the same.
What are you conspiring about?
Oh, don't mind him. Vic's just...
Name.
Insufferable.
Magister Victor looks at you suspiciously, then scrawls something illegible down in a tiny note.
Away with you. At once.
Ifan performs an elaborate pantomime of keeping quiet, one finger in front of his lips as he leans back against...
Never thought you'd end up a prison guard, Vic.
That right? I always knew you'd turn out rotten, Ben Nest. Your kind always hung closest to our divine.
The elf is reading a volume of Cranley Hubert's famous encyclopedia. He reaches out, flicks a finger against one of your... He sits back and returns to his book, flicking quickly from page to page, completely oblivious to your presence.
It is simultaneously too detailed and insufficient. Tell me, what do you know of our world's history? Most unusual. And if it's not too rude to suggest, not much of an answer. No. I want to know about the Celestial. I want to know about your... This text tells me that they created all creatures. Where did these gods come from? Who are their people? Where are the others of their kind? Of course you don't have any useful inf... Now please, run along. I have a world to decipher.
No amount of pestering will get the elf to...
It's a register, sir. Good. You faring okay so far? Of course I do. Seems Voidwalk can dog your heels like a shadow. You'll see. We're gonna help you. You head on in now, William.
Keep those bubbles trained on her, and if she tries to run, shoot to kill.
Standing at the center of the room, you spot a sorcerer haughtily eyeing a pair of nervous-looking magisters. They keep their crossbow trained upon her as she's being interrogated by an officer.
So you admit it then? You murdered...
Yes, I did. But of course that was...
She turns her head.
There are others whose lives must end.
Good God! You there, sorcerer! Go and fetch Magister Siwan. We need to do more than collar this maniac. We need to shackle her, hands and feet.
No, I'm afraid I always perform my part solo.
She reaches for her collar and simply removes it.
I'm just about to create a scene.
Subdue her, men, quickly! If she casts source, the Voidwoken will come.
She smiles with wicked...
Precise.
What's happened?
The dwarf lies in a heap on the floor, his great beard twisted and tangled around him. He is stock still. You can't see if he's living or dead. You hear a faint thud, thud, thud. The dwarf lies in a heap on the floor. lies motionless, curled on the ground like an animal. Under his shaggy hair, you can see green eyes fluttering as if in a nightmare. His eyes flicker open, but he doesn't. Ifan cries out, then his eyes fall closed.
This again? This again? This again?
No, not the final dark. Not yet.
It's no use. Your word...
The dice roll darkly.
The Magister lies on the floor, unconscious and...
The hatch is blocked. I'll need to find another way.
The young woman lies in a heap on the floor. She's breathing, she doesn't stir.
Not long before this thing snaps into splinters.